Hi, this is Mark Graben. I am a senior advisor to KaiNexus, and today on the podcast, we're going to have about a 10-minute chat with Jim Hunsinger and Dwayne Butcher from an organization. They're good friends of ours, Lean Frontiers. We're going to be talking about two events they're running the same week in February, KataCon5 and the TWI Summit. And TWI stands for Training Within Industry. So here are Jim and Dwayne. Well, Jim and Dwayne, thank you for joining us today. As far as introductions go, Jim, can you tell folks a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Thanks, Mark. I'm Jim Hunsinger of Lean Frontiers, president and founder of Lean Frontiers. And what's interesting, what we're going to talk about today with TWI, I actually got my start with it years and years ago, 25 years ago or so, in developing and implementing Lean. Is always realized there was something missing for us to really hit our targets of standard work much more effectively. And over time, it led me to do some digging and research, which eventually got me to stumble along TWI, the program that was developed during World War II, and really work on how we could bring that forward, because it's still just as valid today for organizations to be successful in their Lean implementation and their improvement process, and a whole variety of things. Really sets a good foundation for them. And when Kata came out and Mike published his book, Toyota Kata, immediately you see really the strong tie-in and relationship between the two.
I don't know if you remember the first TWI summit. There was just a clamoring of, have you seen this book?
Yeah.
This is addressing what we're talking about.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Almost out of the gate, there was that natural connection.
So. Yeah, and I agree. I mean, TWI is, dates back to World War II, but it's still useful. And, not everything that's old becomes outdated. It's evolved. It's such a key part of Lean. And, training within the industry as an original name doesn't mean it only applies to industry. It's helpful in healthcare. There's a lot of people incorporating those time-tested methods.
Yeah, essentially, we'll say anywhere there's people and processes, which you're right, can be anywhere, it's applicable.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know Mark Warren, but Mark has actually done some research into the archives and actually found some healthcare organizations that brought TWI into. So there's some nurses that have given testimony to kind of what it did in their healthcare facilities.
They even did, they even have did some minor case study writing even back then during the war period in regards to healthcare and it being utilized.
Yeah, I've seen and blogged about some of those journal articles from the late 40s. Really cool stuff.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Well, Dwayne, how about you introduce yourself for everybody?
Yeah, so I'm the other principal with Lean Frontiers. My experience with Lean, TWI, Kata has all been within the petri dish of Lean Frontiers. I've never worked in Lean outside of in a manufacturing or healthcare facility. So I've gotten a lot of incredible experience, immersive experience as we not only learn this stuff, but apply it to our own internal processes. So my primary role here within Flexware is getting the word out about the summits and
Lean Frontiers.
With
Flexware.
With Lean Frontiers. I said Flexware. Flexware is actually where we met.
Yeah.
It was back in 2004 or 5 that Jim had this idea for a Lean Accounting Summit, and I was working as a marketing manager for Flexware. And I thought the guy was nuts wanting to do something on Lean accounting. And so anyway, that's how he and I met and moved on.
And eventually the TWI Summit followed a very similar path as the Lean Accounting Summit did.
Yeah, so Lean Accounting Summit is long-standing event, and here we're talking about Skills Week, the kind of back-to-back pairing of KataCon5 and the TWI Summit. So we've covered some of the what. We can dig into this a little bit deeper, but can you talk about some of the when and the where for these events?
Yeah, so it's interesting. We've been running TWI since 2007, and
second longest running summit.
And Kata came in around 2015-ish, somewhere in there. We're going into our 5th year. So both of those events were standalone events. But in the last few years, as we described earlier, actually, the TWI crowd was really pulling for that Kata knowledge. And so it made sense for us to then begin to move those closer together. So
it was fascinating the way the TWI crowd was pulling Kata into it. And the Kata crowd, they were noticing, so it's a little bit different dynamic, but noticing that the TWI was there and had some level of inkling that there is some correlation between the two.
So by running them together, and we're running them February 18th, 19th is Kata, and then February 21st, 22nd is TWI. By running them in the same week, those that have that interest in both methodologies, both thought processes, are able to attend both. And we definitely have a fair number of people that are doing that.
Yeah, and even in some of the presentations, there's certainly a little bit of crossover. There's references, TWI Summit, they'll reference to Kata. In Kata Summit, there'll be some level of reference back to TWI. So again, that correlation and even practice for some organizations continues to grow.
Yeah. And who are the people who generally attend KataCon and the TWI Summit, or who should attend? Hope maybe there's a lot of overlap or difference there.
Sure. Yeah, I would say it tends to be probably in either case somewhat a lot of the either middle manager people that are implementing lean, and a lot of times implementing lean and have gotten to some level of barriers and hurdles they're struggling with. So they do see these as ways for them to get their organization, their people over those hurdles and struggles and become more effective. You will see in more probably medium-sized companies, you will see higher level people that do pick up that this is something that can really change your organization, not only just from the lean perspective to make them better, but really make them from just an effective organization significantly better. So really, probably those would be two main key dynamics that we've seen go on of the people that attend. And again, like we talked about earlier, not only manufacturing, but we've seen it in healthcare. We've seen there's folks from the insurance industry and some other industries that are involved and engaged with it, which is a very positive thing to see.
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things you touched on was in the early days of TWI, there might have been a few people coming that were asking the question, what is this?
Yeah.
But primarily, by and large, those that come to Kata or TWI, there is a specific problem they're trying to address. They're having issues with not being able to achieve standard work, or they're having relational problems where job relations might come in and kind of help with the respect for people type part of their culture. So it's interesting that people don't come in blindly anymore. They're coming in with looking for specific solutions to specific problems.
And a lot of times they've made some good progress, but they feel like they've plateaued, and they feel or even know or have talked with other people that this is the way to get them beyond that plateau, to get them on that hurdle, to get them on a better trajectory.
Mm-hmm. So to talk a little bit about how the event runs, maybe that points to the why. Why should people come attend KataCon and or TWI Summit? What makes these events unique or special?
Yeah, well, both of them are very the very nature of Kata and TWI are very skills based, and so that's one of the things that's really built into both of the events is an opportunity for you to come not only learn the theoretical, practical, but to actually put it into application. Practice. So for like the entire second half of day one at Kata, for instance, there's a 4-hour session of practice and 4 or 5 different workshops we have. So
very deliberate in getting people hands-on and actually applying it with somebody there that's kind of mentoring and teaching, plus with their peers, again from a variety of industries, which is always helpful to be with them as they apply it, discuss it, and go through that learning process. They're very much learn by doing aspect of both of them.
And there's a lot of ways in which both Toyota Kata and TWI learned or practiced through very hands-on experiential learning and practice, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, really, in some ways, well, really, that's the only way to truly learn them and become proficient at them.
Yeah.
My experience has been, as we've put some of these things into practice internally in our own organization, is that I'm learning it and I don't even realize I'm learning it. It's only until, I had a personal situation in which the whole entire kata mindset really took over and helped walk myself, my wife, my daughter through a difficult circumstance. And I didn't know that I had learned that, but I did because we had been practicing it.
I mean, these are skills that apply in so many different industries and settings at so many different levels of thinking in terms of Toyota Kata, setting a challenge, thinking about your target, and running some experiments and finding your way from here to there, right?
Yeah, where doesn't that apply?
Well, great. Well, I want to thank the both of you, Jim Hunsinger and Dwayne Butcher, for telling us a little bit about KataCon5 and the TWI Summit, February 18th and 19th for KataCon5, and February 21st and 22nd for the TWI Summit. So these are both in Savannah, Georgia. You can learn more by going to www.leanfrontiers.com/skillsweek. So I'm sorry I can't be there this year. I've done and been at TWI Summits in the past. I hope to get to KataCon5, so I'll look forward to that. Jim and Dwayne.
Having you there.
Yep.
Yeah. And hopefully a lot of our KaiNexus customers and community will be there to join you. So again, thanks for taking some time with us today.
Yeah, thank you, Mark.